The vox crackles. You already know what it's going to say. You've been a soldier long enough to recognize the shape of a situation that only ends one way. The chaos advance is closing. The regiment is running. Someone has to hold the line long enough for them to reach the extraction point, and that someone is going to be you. 40 years. This is how it all ends. You check the charge on your lasgun. You give the artillery the coordinates. Your coordinates. You didn't volunteer. Almost nobody does. The Astra Militarum doesn't need you to volunteer. It needs bodies, and the Imperium has an essentially unlimited supply of those, and somewhere in the vast bureaucratic machinery of the Departamento Munitorum, a clerk wrote your name on a tithe and handed it to an officer, who handed it to another officer, who eventually handed it to the man standing at your door at 6 in the morning, with a lasgun and a set of fatigues and a number that is, from this point forward, more important than your name. You're not a person anymore. You're a soldier. That distinction matters more than it sounds. The Imperium of Man is the largest military organization in the history of the galaxy. It fields armies that number in the billions across thousands of worlds simultaneously, fighting wars on every front against enemies that would end humanity entirely if given the opportunity. It does not win these wars through brilliance or innovation or tactical genius. It wins them through mass, through weight of numbers, through the simple arithmetic of putting enough bodies between the enemy and the things worth protecting, and accepting that some of those bodies aren't coming back. You are one of those bodies. You don't know this yet. You're carrying your kit to a transport you've never seen before, heading to a world you've never heard of, to fight in a war you don't understand. You're scared in the way that only people who don't know what they're scared of can be scared, completely, and without anything specific to focus it on. The transport doors close. That's the last time you're a civilian. The drill abbots don't care about your name. They care about whether you can march in formation, strip your lasgun in under 30 seconds, follow an order before you've finished understanding it, and stay in line when everything in your body is telling you to run. You learn all of these things. You learn them because the alternative is the Commissar's attention, and the Commissar's attention is something you learn very quickly to avoid. The Commissar is not like the drill abbots. The drill abbots want to make you useful. The Commissar wants to make you afraid of the wrong thing, which is to say afraid of failure and cowardice and the shame of letting the regiment down rather than being afraid of the enemy. Fear redirected is motivation. The Commissar understands this with the specific precision of someone who has spent a career applying it. You start to understand the lasgun, not just how to fire it, how it feels, the weight of it, the balance, the particular sound it makes when the charge pack seats correctly. You've held it so many times now that your hands know what to do before you tell them. That knowledge is going to save your life. The squad forms around you, faces you didn't choose, thrown together by the same arbitrary machinery that chose you, learning the same things at the same speed under the same gray sky. You don't trust them yet. Trust comes later, forged by something the training can only prepare you for and never actually deliver. The regiment moves out. Nobody tells you what it actually sounds like. The briefings cover enemy disposition and fire lines and objectives. They don't cover the noise, the specific, absolute quality of a battlefield in full operation. The artillery and the lasguns and the voices, and underneath all of it, something you feel in the chest more than hear, a pressure that doesn't stop. Your first engagement is nothing like what you imagined. It's faster and louder and more confused, and the enemy doesn't behave the way the briefing said they would, and 2 people in your squad are dead before you fully understood that the fighting has started. You fire your lasgun. You keep moving forward because the person beside you is moving forward, and stopping feels worse than continuing. The Imperial Guard doesn't win through individual heroism. It wins through massed advance, through weight of fire, through the willingness to keep moving toward the objective regardless of what the objective costs. You are a single line in a tactical calculation made by someone who will never know your name. You advance. When it's over, you're still standing, and the ground in front of you is held. Commissar is reading the casualty figures. You stand in shock as you bear witness to the destruction and death surrounding you. You file it away. You pick up your lasgun. You learn. The years don't accumulate cleanly. They blur. Worlds you can barely name, whose terrain is in your legs and back long after you've left them. Enemies that blur into a general category of things that need to be stopped. Chaos warbands with heretic fire in their eyes. Ork hordes that don't stop regardless of how many you put down. Tyranid swarms that make you understand for the first time what it means to fight something with no individual to kill, and no command to decapitate, and no territory to take that means anything. You fight them all. You advance and hold and retreat and advance again, and the Departmentum Munitorum keeps sending replacement faces for the ones that don't make it. The faces are the thing you stop letting yourself track. Early on, you remember names. After a while, you remember faces. After a while longer, you remember types. The nervous one, the loud one, the one who kept a picture of somewhere they came from in their breast pocket. The machine keeps supplying them, and the war keeps consuming them, and you are somehow still here after all of it. Death. That's the constant. Everything else turns over. There's a question that sits underneath 40 years of service, and you've never said it out loud because saying it out loud would be the kind of thing the Commissar notices. Whether the Imperium is worth what it costs the people doing the protecting. You're not a heretic for thinking it. You've decided that much. It's just a question. The kind that arrives in the quiet between deployments, when there's nothing to do but clean the gun and count the names you still remember. The Imperium is vast and flawed and sustained by the deaths of people exactly like you, and it is also the only thing standing between humanity and complete annihilation. What you've found instead, the thing that actually gets you back on the transport every time, isn't faith in the Imperium as an institution. It's smaller than that. The soldier on your left who covered your position without being asked. The medic who stayed under fire to reach someone they couldn't save but tried anyway. The regiment, not as a tactical unit, but as a collection of people who showed up again after the last time. That's what 40 years has taught you. Not the catechism, not the doctrine. People, doing the next necessary thing for each other. The briefing is short. The situation is what it is. A Chaos Warband has broken through the defensive line faster than the tactical model predicted, which is the kind of thing that stops surprising you after the first decade. The regiment needs 20 minutes to reach the extraction point. The Chaos advance needs to be slowed. The Commissar doesn't ask for a volunteer so much as he asks who it's going to be, and the calculus is the same one you've run 100 times before. Who in this regiment has the least future ahead of them, and the most experience behind them, to spend on a problem like this? You already have your hand up. The younger soldiers look at you, and you see in their faces exactly what your face looked like 40 years ago on a transport to a world you'd never heard of, scared of something you couldn't name. You hope they make it long enough to understand what you understand now. You think they will. You give the Commissar a nod. He gives you one back. It's the most honest exchange you've ever had with a Commissar. 300 meters and closing. The lasgun is up. The coordinates are given. The regiment is running and you can hear them getting further away. You think about the name on the list. The transport door closing, the first engagement and the last one, and everything between them that you can't retrieve and wouldn't trade. The advance doesn't slow. Neither do you. For the Emperor.